Hello, thank you so much for joining us. Today we are going to review the Hike Lead information packet for the We Hike to Heal Challenge. What we will be covering today is a little bit of information about our organization, about We Hike to Heal Month, what it means to lead a We Hike to Heal hike. We'll share some resources and then we will get into next steps. Our motivation for creating this nonprofit was to provide an alternative pathway to healing for women. Through guided outdoor activities, we offer our participants a unique and powerful way to experience respite, connection, and community. For 1 month each year, individuals and organizations around the world have the opportunity to join the We Hike to Heal Challenge and lead We Hike to Heal group hikes in their local areas. Our goal is to get as many people as possible hiking and healing and loudly living out the We Hike to Heal Challenge mission of encouraging women all over the world to tap into the healing and empowering influences within ourselves, our communities, and the great outdoors. So, about the We Hike to Heal month. It is broken down into two parts. We have the We Hike to Heal virtual challenge and then the community group hikes. So, the virtual challenge is the heart of this 4 week guided journey. It is rooted in the Nature Meditations deck. Each week, participants will receive mindfulness tools to support their journey, guided meditations to deepen their connection to nature, journaling prompts for reflection, weekly outdoor challenges to encourage intentional time outside. This creates a consistent rhythm throughout the month, inviting participants to slow down and reconnect in their everyday lives. So, the second part is the community group hikes, and that is where you come in. This is where connection comes to life. As a hike lead, you bring the experience to life through in person connection. You will host one or more hikes throughout the month, use weekly themes to guide your hike experience, and create a welcoming space for reflection, connection, and healing. Together, we turn time outdoors into meaningful moments of community care. So, what does it mean to lead a We Hike to Heal hike, and what does that look like? So, all individuals and organizations that support the We Hike to Heal mission are invited to apply to lead a We Hike to Heal group hike in their local area. We Hike to Heal group hikes can take place anytime throughout the month of May. You may lead as many hikes as you like. Each hike should include some type of mindful component: journaling, meditation, walking thought, discussion, yoga, etc. Each group hike lead will be responsible for managing their own RSVPs. Registrations can be set up on Facebook. Please make sure that it is public if you do choose Facebook. You could also use Eventbrite, Meetup, or your own website or any other public online platform that we can link back to. Once your application to be a hike lead has been approved, you will receive an invitation to schedule your hike. All hikes will be listed on the We Hike to Heal website with the registration linked back to your RSVP platform so that you can control what information is shared with your participants. There is no requirement for time or distance. This is intended to be an intentional journey, not a race. We recommend keeping the difficulty level, fairly easy to moderate so that you can focus on connecting with yourselves, each other, and Mother Nature. As a hike lead, safety should be your number one priority. Make sure you are familiar with the trail and you have emergency contact information for local park rangers and or local authorities. We recommend that each hike lead is first aid CPR certified. The American Red Cross does offer courses all across the country, and you can find more details about that linked here. As the hike lead, you should plan to carry a first aid kit on your hike in case of emergencies, as well as the 10 essentials. If you're unfamiliar with the 10 essentials, again, please click the link here and you can learn more. All hikes will be listed on our website with registrations linked back to your RSVP platform. So if you need a little bit more support setting up your event, there is a few links here on how to actually set those events up. And then also some tips to include on your RSVP pages. So you want to make sure that you include your specific meeting location, whether it's a visitor center, a trailhead, parking lot, etc. Also include trail distance and difficulty level. And then also parking availability and cost. Be sure to include information if you have limited parking and encourage carpooling if available. Also, restaurant restroom availability. A lot of times, just nerves and hydrating. People are not always comfortable using nature's restroom outdoors, so they're curious to know whether or not there's restroom available at the trail that you're going to be attending. So make sure you include that information. Also, please include on your RSVP the registration to the challenge and a link to any We Hike to Heal merch. We love to see all of your community hikes. Please send us photos, tag us. That's always one of our most favorite moments to share your community group hikes on our platforms as well. All right, moving along. So, We Hike to Heal group hikes are intended to be healing hikes for your community. You know them best. Pick a location and a time that is best for you. There are no time or distance or other requirements here other than to have a good time and incorporate some mindfulness. What is a healing hike exactly? A healing hike is one where we intentionally take time to slow down and not just to connect inward, but also outward with the land and our community. This can look different for each group. Once your hike is scheduled, we will share the weekly challenge themes that can be used as conversation starters or journaling prompts. Again, the idea is intentionality. What does that look like for you? Okay, so we're going to get into some resources. So these are our healing hike basics. This is We Hike to Heal structure. You can use as much or as little of this as you like. Feel free to incorporate mindfulness in your own way. So our structure is hike, journal, meditate. For the hike, we encourage you to use a theme from the Nature Meditations deck for that week. It helps you start the conversation off. You want to read the card and encourage participants to pair up with someone new and talk about the topic on the card. Once at the midway point, ask them to reflect on the prompt and share what they heard from their partners. Journal. Upon reaching the summit or midway point, allow participants to find a comfortable spot and settle in. Once they're ready, lead them in that week's mindfulness or journaling activities. You can also choose another prompt from the Nature Meditations deck or use another activity. Use your intuition and vibe of the group to dictate the length and the direction of your time within this portion of the day. And then finally, we close with meditate. So we conclude the experience with a meditation. That could be guided meditation. You could read another card from the Nature Meditation section of the deck. You can also just choose a quiet moment of reflection, whatever you're most comfortable with. And just to back up for a moment, so this is our healing hike basics. For every group hike, you do want to lead with introductions. You want to set some ground rules for your participants, share with them what they can expect from your group hike, and what we call set the container. So just set some boundaries and set some intentions for the group and let them know what to expect and what your role is there. All right, facilitator basics. This is another really important resource. I will go through this briefly. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us. So starting with confidentiality. Throughout the day, some people within your group might be inclined to share very personal stories or memories with the group. One part of setting the container of these group hikes is asking for confidentiality, asking for your participants to keep everything they hear within the group. Obviously, we can't guarantee that, so we like to use the word sacred space instead of safe space. And again, just creating that intentionality that we want to honor everybody's stories and what they're sharing and keeping that confidential within the group. Number 2, trust and openness. We want to allow everybody to speak their mind, and sometimes it does mean there's conflict or disagreements. Of course, diversity is very important in all of our processes of self-discovery, and we also want to make sure that people are respectful of each other. So again, that is something that we want to share as we introduce and set the container for the group. Number 3, speak from I. As the hike lead, people tend to see you as the authority. So be mindful that when you are sharing your opinions that you speak from I, so that it is clear that it is your opinion and not a fact. Again, although you may not be the authority in the space per se, as a host, as a hike lead, people do look to you. So we just ask that you're very mindful of what you share and how you share it. Number 4, don't give advice. This one is sometimes challenging. I have to admit that. But it's really important that we give people the space to share their experiences and the stories and memories that they want to share without unsolicited advice. One of our best practices is to ask the participant that is sharing if they want feedback. Sometimes it is important to just create that as a standard to always ask. Would you like feedback, or would you just like to have witnesses in your expression? I know that sometimes this is a little bit different than how we typically communicate. So it's really important that we spend some time just reviewing this to make sure that we're comfortable with it. Finally, we're jumping into the next steps. So, if you still want to lead a group hike, which we really hope you do, we ask that you complete the Hike Lead application that is linked here. You will receive an email once your application is approved. Within that email will include a link to add your group hike to the event calendar. Again, you will need to set up your group hike on your own RSVP platform of your choosing. Once you have set up your group hike, then you will add it to our group hike calendar. 3, we want you to share your group hike with your community. We want to make sure that people join you on your journey with this We Hike to Heal Challenge group hike. So whether it's social media, blogs, however you communicate to your community, make sure that they know that you're going to be hosting a We Hike to Heal Challenge group hike. 4, enjoy your hike. Take lots of photos and make sure to tag us on social media at We Hike to Heal and using the We Hike to Heal hashtag. And finally, number 5, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at info@wehiketoheal.org. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your interest. We really hope that you join our community for the We Hike to Heal Challenge this year. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.